All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Nigeria receives $52.88 million recovered funds linked to Dizani. That's about 100 billion naira. But we have been conditioned as a people to think that 100 billion naira can't make significant impact. And that's because our politicians, they steal such amounts every day. Even this one they just recovered now will be looted. But that does not change the fact that when properly invested, 100 billion naira can lift thousands of people out of poverty. But no, the APC will embezzle it. What happened to all the Abacha loot that Buhari received? Everything was relooted. The APC is just a total disaster. And to corroborate my point, few hours ago, news broke out of EFCC that shows that Nigeria in a short while might be blacklisted by other countries of the world. If these things happening in Nigeria that the whole world is seeing under the APC persists, it will take just one country to completely announce that they have cut ties with Nigeria, and other countries will follow. I'm telling you. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that ugly update from EFCC, an uglier update began making the rounds. This one shocked the entire nation. When we say that the money saved from subsidy removal is being embezzled by few APC members, some people will argue. But while facing the Senate committee, the Minister of Finance, WALE EDUN, was asked to explain how much they had saved from subsidy removal and how they have spent the money they saved. Can you believe that WALE EDUN said he could not answer that question in front of camera? He asked for a closed-door session to answer that question, meaning all the journalists and the cameramen, and indeed Nigerians, are not permitted to hear how the subsidy savings was spent. Can you imagine that? Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you these videos. You know, the Buhari regime scammed Nigeria with the Nigerian Airways project. And 2 days ago, the Tinubu regime announced that they also want to embark on the Nigerian Airways project. And I criticized that move in a debate on X. I said we were not ready and that it was another avenue to loot. But some said I was a naysayer. Now listen to Captain Ado Sanusi, the MD Aero Contractors. See the video.
Well, I'm not a spokesperson for EDUN, but I can tell you for a fact that I don't think the federal government will continue with the project of Nigeria Air the way it was conceived, because you can't continue to build on a foundation that is not stable. So I don't think they will continue. I think it will be disastrous for them to continue on that route. And if federal government is thinking of starting a national carrier, I think if they are still thinking the way they thought, then it's going to fail. I still have doubt if the government have the capacity to start a carrier and run it and let it be sustainable. I don't think they have that. And it is evident with Nigerian Airways. It will be just a conduit for money being spent and nothing will happen to it. And this is, I don't even have to look at crystal ball. This is clear. This is empirically proven. It cannot. So I don't see any reason why we should keep doing the same thing and expect different results. If we want to have a national carrier and the federal government have bodies that do have, like AMCON has access to a lot of aviation assets, why don't they look at those and start something small and then let it organically grow? But I know that Nigerians are yearning for national carrier that can fly tomorrow to London, to New York, to Canada, to everywhere. It's not possible. It's not possible. Even if we say we're going to start today, the first airplane that might arrive here, if we're going to buy brand new airplanes, will probably be in 2027 or 2028, if we're lucky. So we have to understand the aviation industry. It's not like you go into a showroom and say, I want this aircraft, by the way, put this seat, put that seat. It's not like that. It's planning. And I believe that we always throw this national carrier debate to distract us from the key challenge of the aviation industry in this country. The key challenges are being left behind, and we're talking about a national carrier. Why have Nigerian airlines been failing? Why can't we look at the reasons and address those reasons and make sure we have formidable domestic carriers? Why are we always throwing that carrot for debate of national carrier, while to even fly from Lagos to Abuja is going to be an issue for us if we continue the way we are doing?
You heard that. The important issues that should be addressed in the aviation sector are being left behind. They are being neglected, and they are chasing shadows, discussing the ones that are not realistic, because that is the avenue for them to siphon money. We are not ready for a national carrier now. It's just another avenue to loot. The aviation minister under Buhari, Sirika, when he was talking about this same Nigerian Airways project, scammed Nigeria by hiring a plane from Ethiopia, and then he painted it white and green and said he had launched the Nigerian Airways. But his cover was later blown before the whole world. Till today, this same man is walking free. In fact, he goes to mainstream media houses to grant interviews, to say that senators were asking him for bribe. Nobody is prosecuting him, no trial, nothing. Now, Tinubu's boys want to go ahead and do their own aviation scam. You see, when Tinubu said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped, I never thought that he was going to carry out that promise to the letter. That is the promise that he has carried out consistently and perfectly, because that is the one that helps to destroy Nigeria. What a shame. The next video here is that of Governor of Nasarawa State. This APC governor could not even offer one line of defense for Tinubu, as Seun Okinbaloye kept insinuating that Tinubu had failed woefully. He answered brilliantly though, but he didn't offer any word in Tinubu's defense. As a matter of fact, this APC governor suggested that Tinubu has these remaining 2 years left to rescue the APC, meaning the past two were a disaster. See the video.
There could be a force that could take out your party from existence come 2027. You think your party is in a very good standing? Is that what you think?
What we are going to do in the next 2 years will determine the direction of our party. I strongly believe that we are going to perform in the next 2 years wonderfully. Once we are able to do that, I don't think the party needs to fear about any merger and the rest of that. That's the way I look at it.
So there are those who think that if your party dares to go into an election today, it will be beating and it's going to be giving a bloody nose. Does that worry you?
The election is 2027, so that's the reason why I'm not scared.
Okay, no, I'm saying that if your party were to go in other climes, if they call for an election today where some parliamentary system of government is being run, if they call for an election, what I'm saying, and I'm talking about performance of your party at the center, are you worried that Nigerians perhaps have less of a popularity vote for your party at the center with the way and manner you guys have run this country? I mean, you people, so apologies to you guys.
Yeah, I have said with due respect that I'm not scared. I have said with due respect that the performance of the party depends on the performance not only at the central but also at the various state levels. Elections are not necessarily held only at the federal. The elections are held at the various states, at the various wards, at the various units.
You heard that. In other words, the man at the center might be a failure, but those of us at the state and local government levels are not failing. This is one of the rare occasions where an APC governor would completely accept the fact that Tinubu has failed and that he must use the next 2 years to save face and save his career. But that will not happen, because the next 2 years will even be worse than the first two. And the claim of this governor that APC members at the state and local government levels are doing well is not even true. There is poverty everywhere. The party has failed nationally. Point blank, period. Now, let us take the top stories. First is that ugly story of theft, serious theft, coming out of the EFCC. It got Nigerians really talking. And next is an uglier story. WALE EDUN was told to explain the subsidy savings and how the money was spent. But the man said, no, I cannot speak in front of camera. I can't speak in front of journalists and all Nigerians. Let us have a closed door section and speak about this as a secret. What a shame. Now let's start by taking that update coming out of EFCC. Look at how the papers reported it. Over $350,000 jewelry reportedly missing at EFCC office as Nigeria's anti-corruption agency detains 10 officers over theft. Sahara reporters. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is facing a major scandal after a significant amount of cash and valuables disappeared from its Lagos Zonal Command. Sources told PR Nigeria that between $350,000 and $400,000 has gone missing, along with expensive jewelry and other high-value items. This incident comes on the heels of the EFCC dismissing 27 officials for misconduct and fraudulent activities, raising concerns about accountability and oversight within the agency. The recent dismissal of several officials followed recommendations from the EFCC Staff Disciplinary Committee, which were ratified by Chairman Ola Olukoyede. The move comes as the EFCC is investigating the disappearance of the funds and grappling with the challenge of restoring public trust. As an agency combating financial crimes, the EFCC is under scrutiny for alleged weakness in its internal controls, which have raised concerns about its effectiveness in preventing corruption within its own ranks. When Sahara reporters reached out to the spokesperson for the anti-graft agency, Mr. Dele Oyewale, to confirm the story, he refused to deny or confirm the report. He, however, referred our correspondent to a report published on Wednesday in which the EFCC announced the arrest and detention of 10 officers from its Lagos Zonal Command over allegations of theft. The corruption has eaten too deep into every section of our system. And that is what we're talking about yesterday. Corruption has become a culture. So it's not about saying you want to establish this, saying we want to have this meeting or that. No. It is about a leader putting his foot down, saying that this corruption cannot continue. But that is not this Tinubu regime. A regime that is backing a budget where people are saying they want to buy photocopier, one photocopying machine with 7.5 million naira. A regime that is backing a budget where people are saying they want to install one NEPA pole with 50 million naira. That regime is complicit. That regime is in fact the evil that we wrestle against as a people. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that shocking and disgraceful update from WALE EDUN in his visit to the National Assembly began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Finance Minister WALE EDUN on Thursday sought a closed-door session to explain subsidy savings and debt servicing amid Senate scrutiny. There was a mild drama in the Senate on Thursday when federal lawmaker put the economic team of Bola Tinubu's government on the spot again over the performance of the 2024 budget. The team, led by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. WALE EDUN, was asked to explain details of the funds saved by the federal government from the fuel subsidy removal and amount so far spent on debt servicing. A member of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, who is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District, Senator Abdul Ningi, fired the barrage of questions. Ningi put EDUN on the spot when he asked the minister to explain how proceeds from fuel subsidy removal were spent in the 2024 fiscal year. Ningi said, "What is the budget performance so far in the 2024 fiscal year, particularly in terms of the capital expenditure? We haven't heard from the minister how much has been saved from the removal of fuel subsidy and how much has been expended." But obviously uncomfortable answering the question in the presence of journalists, WALE EDUN pleaded with the senators to allow him to provide detailed answers to the questions behind closed doors. EDUN said, "Are we in a closed door session? If we are not in a closed door session, I will humbly seek one so as to provide detailed explanations to the questions asked." The chairman of the committee, Senator Solomon Adiola, sought the understanding of his colleagues to allow the minister to provide the answers in a closed session. He therefore asked the journalists to excuse them so that they could continue their deliberations behind closed doors. EDUN, the Minister of Budget, Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, and other members of the economic team appeared before the panel. Wow, you can't make this up. You know, sometimes when you see certain headings, you feel that perhaps this is not true. Perhaps this is just a caption, to get me to read. And then when you read along and you realize that this was what actually happened, you will be shocked. I mean, there are things happening in this country that even in movies in other climes, the people writing their fictions cannot conceive those things. The essence of going to meet the Senate is just like public hearing for Nigerians to know everything that is happening. Then it came to the major issue. This subsidy removal is what has thrown over 90% of the people in this country into abject poverty. Homes have been destroyed. People have lost their lives. Students have dropped out of school. Destinies have been exterminated over this matter. Just because you claim that you want to save money that you use for infrastructure. And because you had the power, because you have the power, you went ahead and removed this subsidy. Now they are saying, tell Nigerians how much was saved and what you did with it. You are demanding for a closed session, that the cameras, the journalists should leave. This just confirms all that we've been saying. I've been saying it here, that even that part of subsidy that they said they removed, we know they didn't remove everything, but that part they said they removed is going straight into their pockets. There is no way these people will save money somewhere and they will bring it out and use it for you and I. It's not possible. Say waiting. What will make them do that? The money will not even be, they will claim it's not even enough for them to share. Now Ningi has questioned WALE EDUN. Tell Nigerians what you did with the money. He said no. It has to be behind closed doors. What a shame. Is this a democracy? And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Osai says, "There is no democratic government in Nigeria. Everything is done in secret. NNPCL is a government of its own. Also, this style of government makes military rule attractive." That is it. What is the difference between this one and military? It's better the people know that they are in chains. It's better they know that they are being treated as slaves instead of, you coming out to pretend as if it's a democratic setting. Then you are maltreating people anyhow. And Ajayi here says, there should be no need for a closed door session. Explain to the taxpayers what you use their money for. It is just as simple as that. These ones are criminals now. They cannot just sit there and start telling you how they ate your money. So you just take them inside and say, "Oh boy, may not forget that thing. How much do you want?" That is the issue. And this tweet here says, "You removed subsidy in the open, but you need a closed door to explain non-existing savings." That is it. You stood in the open to say subsidy is gone. Now come and explain what you did with the money you say you want to go and hide. Oni Adewale here says, "Closed door session for what? If you ask me, who I go ask?" And Ogundele Olamilekon here says, "Is the subsidy savings part of a security issue? Why calling for closed door meeting? They announced the subsidy is gone openly. Now they want to talk about savings from it secretly. APC and corruption. APC and corruption are 5 and 6. And sadly, it is going to get worse. Because this is what they know to do. They don't know any other thing apart from wallowing in corruption. And that is why we keep telling Nigerians that for us to still have a country at all in the near future, we must cast our sentiments aside, come together, unite, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. We una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.